Very good afternoon to you. It's Jim from maverickstar Observatory, guys. As you know, it's the 17th of the month, and on the 17th of every month we take a new position of the magnetic North Pole. Before we get into that, big thank you to those that are supporting the observatory, and you know, guys, it is starting to look like a record low for raising funds for this observatory, and that's going back over 3 years. I do keep a record of what we raise every month, and you know, I keep a record also of what we spend on electronic components, and there's going to be some maintenance needed to be carried out on the Trimag on track 3. For some reason we always have problems on track 3. Now it's still working, but it's missing some data sets as the month goes by. Now that could be, it just needs a little tweak on the transceiver aerial, or it could be something is blocking it, something that I've put in the loft and it's blocking the signal. So you know, I'll be investigating that later, but if it needs to, we've got the equipment here to just replace track 3 completely. The other thing is, you'll notice on the magnetosphere data that we collected last month, there was a month missing of the data, and I'm pretty sure it's because we had a power cut, and sometimes if we have a power cut it needs to be reset in order for it to, you know, continue collecting the data every 15 minutes, and that power cut must have happened shortly after it was reset on the last 17th of the 4th, so April last month. It must have been upset or something. No, not April, March the 17th. It must have been upset because we had hardly any data. It wasn't worth graphing or charting it, but it is working this month. So what I'm going to do is a bit of maintenance on that. I'll just replace the battery on the SD card reader. I think that's what the problem is, and just re-upload the program to it. So yeah, let's get on with it. Well, you're going to be surprised to know that we have still got almost a 20% increase in the rate of migrative distance. So as was last month, I think it was off the top of my head about 5.2 miles. This month we are at 4.92 miles, so very close to 20%. It's around about 18-19% more than on the average. So it's a bit of a question as to, is this going to be the new trend? If so, you know, we are going to start covering more distance in the migration and therefore hit that 40-degree mark a lot faster. One of the things I was questioning is, why are we getting this? And the only thing I can think of is that we are right over, and I'll show you in a minute when I zoom out, right over the North Atlantic Ridge. Is there something in that region that is causing the magnetic pole to migrate that a little bit quicker? And you know, we'll see how it goes on over the coming months. We could see an increase of speed as it passes over the ridge and then slows down. We know then that the ridge was what was causing the anomaly in the first place and causing therefore the magnetic North Pole to migrate faster. Or we could see it slow down to its current speed that we've been monitoring prior to the last 2 months. So if you're following me on your Google map and you want to put the pin in for the latest position, the latitude for that is 83 degrees by 7 hours 35 minutes 46 seconds north, and the longitude is 122 degrees by 33 hours 59 minutes 20 seconds east. So if you want to put your pins in on there, and I'll just clear this now so you can see the actual distance from the last pin is 4.92 miles. So it's still accelerating by 20%, and we've got 2 months data that shows that. Let's go over to Poleshift News, have a look at the current data that I've uploaded this morning for us, so we can have a look at what's going on with the magnetosphere and the Trimag data. Just before we go over to there, I just wanted to zoom out so you can see the current track of, you know, where the pins have been lying over the last 6 or so months, actually years. We've been tracking it now. You can see how close we are to the 40-degree mark, and you can see that we've just entered the territory of the North Atlantic Ridge. And you know, that's why I posed the question: is it something? Is there an anomaly there that as the pole has now entered over that region of the North Atlantic Ridge, is that what is causing the anomaly to create a, an increase in the speed. The only thing we've got to do here, guys, is just monitor it as it does that. But you can see we're still in the line of the corridor for where we know the pole is heading. That is in Russia, just below the Arctic Circle, and you can see there at the top of the screen where the pole was around 110 or so, 120 years ago in the Canada region. So, interesting stuff. Let's go over to the pole shift and have a look at the recent data there then that we've collected. So without being too technical and boring a lot of you, you can see that this month's or last month's readings that we've gathered from the 17th of the 4th to the 17th of the 5th 2021, we've had on average, even with the track 3 on the Trimag systems, missing a couple of beats, so to say, we're still achieving over 300,000 readings a month. That's a lot when you think about it, and the resolution is almost 3 seconds every data packet, so it's quite a lot to get over 250,000 readings in on a chart, and that's why the line looks like a big blue line with a couple of sways in it. But in general, you've seen the way I process the data, and you've seen the raw data that comes from the Trimag system, and what we're looking for is more hits over 13 degrees. And this morning, going through the data, I can see there's been a lot of entries where the data has been collected and it's been at 13:45, so coming up 13.5 degrees, and with that we can work out the speed at which it's traveling, if we're getting a lot more readings in those figures. And the other thing is, the higher the readings go, closer to 14 is the migration distance. So that's in a nutshell how we're working out the magnetic north position with the data that we collect. And there's no major dramatic changes other than we are hitting over 13 more than usual just recently, and that's an indication that we are pushing 5 miles or so for the last 2 months. You can see that if you go back into the archive, the line has gradually increased from 10 on the left hand scale to where it is today, and it's a good job we don't see dramatic changes, because if we're getting dramatic changes in the position of the magnetic north pole, then we're also going to be getting dramatic changes in the magnetosphere. So let's just go over to the magnetosphere data and see what's happened over the last month with that. So again, we're on pole shift news, just having a look at the magnetosphere data for this last month, and there it is. There's the readings. You can see it is dropping in the direction towards the 198 on the left hand side of the scale. You can see also the frequency has reduced in size. I'm not sure why that is, whether that is a fluctuation in field strength over the region here in the UK where the magnetometer has been taken, or something else. We're going to have to start looking into probably solar anomaly that may be responsible for this. We don't know if when the bow shock is under pressure from solar energy, whether that is what makes a compression on the actual data that we collect. But again, we're collecting on or around about 2,000 to 3,000 readings. Again, that's a resolution of almost 15-minute intervals. We collect a sample of the magnetosphere strength over the observatory here in the UK, and we add it to obviously the archive of data. So guys, that's the latest position on the magnetic north pole. There's a link down there if you want to help support what we do at the observatory. It would be greatly appreciated, because there is some cost this month, even though despite this month has probably been one of the worst on record for the last 3 years of raising revenue. But I do believe that there are more than a few of you out there that realise the importance of what we do here, and it would be great Beans were getting over 10,000 views on the website now every month. If we could just get a few more people to hit the donate button on there, or just simply PayPal us down in the description there. You can add that, whatever you want there. So guys, as always, you enjoy the rest of your day. Bottom line is, we're still seeing an increase in the speed of migration by 20%, and I'll say what I usually do. As always, bye for now.